seems our moment has arrived, tourist.
Do not relent! The tower must crumble!
Death draws near, tourist.
Let's be real, VR has exploded with flashy trailers and overhyped launches, but not every game actually delivers. That's why we're cutting through the noise with 25 of the most played VR games that truly shine on MetaQuest 3, PSVR 2 and PCVR. These are the heavy hitters that gamers keep coming back to. If you're craving some pulse-pounding combat, immersive storytelling, or endless hours of replayability, this list goes beyond the hype and straight into what's actually worth your headset time. Let's plug in and break it down. Beat Saber. Nobody warned you that your gym membership would end up collecting dust the moment you swung your first neon saber in this virtual cardio concert. Here, you're performing an EDM-fueled ballet of destruction inside a neon-drenched fever dream, armed with two sabers, blue and red by default, though you can go full Lisa Frank and make them pink and rainbow. You're tasked with annihilating blocks that barrel toward you to the beat of your favorite bangers. But it's not just wave your arms like you just don't care. There are arrows pointing directions, bombs to dodge, and walls you'll instinctively duck like you're avoiding spoilers on the internet. The thrill doesn't stop at standard cubes either. Chains let you go full fruit ninja in combo mode, while arcs guide your swings like a VR conductor's baton. It's fast, it's sweaty, it's wildly addictive. And if you're feeling extra spicy, modifiers let you crank up the difficulty or go chill mode with no fail. Oh, and yes, 2024 brought explicit lyrics to the party, making this rhythm, rave, feel just a tad more grown up. Even if you're in it for the fitness, the finesse, or the funky tracks, this one slices hard and plays even harder.
Gonna need a gun! Don't worry, it's unloaded. It's unloaded now!
Half-Life Alyx. This is a full-blown crowbar-wielding VR resurrection. You'll step into the gravity-defying boots of Alyx Vance, a scientist/rebel caught smack dab between Half-Life 1 and 2, trying to outwit the alien overlords known as the Combine. They've basically turned Earth into their sad little playground, and you're the one chucking wrenches into their master plan. The narrative pulls no punches, mixing hope and horror as you and your dad, the ever-brilliant Eli Vance, dig deep into guerrilla science to dismantle alien oppression one hacked terminal at a time. This is VR chaos, and it's glorious. Every broken window, locked door, and dangling head crab is a chance for you to duck, dive, loot, reload, and scream. Need a medkit? Better start rifling through abandoned drawers like you're late for work and can't find your keys. Combat is tight, visceral, and as personal as a bad Tinder date. Ducking around cover, blind firing under tentacles and whispering, "Please don't move," to a barnacle. And if you somehow finish the main game without losing your mind, there's a buffet of community-made levels thanks to Valve's updated hammer tools. Superhot VR. If John Wick and a Salvador Dali painting had a VR baby, this would be it. In this minimalist fever dream, time only moves when you do so, yes. Standing still is a valid combat strategy. But the moment you flinch, duck, or sneeze, the world erupts into a slow-motion ballet of bullets, shattered glass, and flying fists. You're unarmed, outnumbered, and basically dropped into a monochrome shootout simulator with red crystal enemies that shatter like dramatic villains in a shampoo commercial. Your job? Grab whatever's around, bottles, shurikens, pistols, maybe even your sense of calm, and make it out alive. Each encounter is like solving a hyper-violent physics puzzle where your body is the cursor. There's no health regen, no ammo pickups lying around like it's an arcade, just pure survival and some of the smoothest "whoa, I'm cool" moments you'll experience in VR. The Superhot Forever update adds even more juice. Headshot-only modes, speedrun challenges, hardcore tweaks, and endless waves if you want to suffer stylishly. It's a brain workout, a reflex test, and a full-blown cinematic dreamscape where you are the action scene. Now go out there and be the beautiful ballerina of death you were born to be. VRChat. Imagine if the internet, a cosplay convention, and a lucid dream had a baby. That's the feverishly chaotic sandbox known as VRChat. It's not really a game in the traditional sense. It's more like stepping into a multiverse party where you can hang out as a dinosaur, anime waifu, Shrek with abs, or literally anything Blender can spit out. No quests, no scoreboards, just unfiltered social interaction, weirdness, and vibes. Maybe your VR headset deep in a dance club built on a floating island, or using your mouse in desktop mode to awkwardly wave at a sentient toaster. VRChat's magic lies in its user-generated madness. You can build your own avatar, craft your own world, or just hop from ramen shop to black hole karaoke with complete strangers. Oh, and if you're into programming, Udon lets you add brain-melting script to your worlds. Imagine an elevator simulator that actually simulates existential dread. Groups and events from anime expos to corporate booths hosted by Disney or HP turn this into the Comic-Con of the metaverse. And yes, with the new creator economy, you can now make rent-selling exclusive VIP features in your digital nightclub. It's chaotic, brilliant, and just the right amount of unhinged. Resident Evil 4 VR. Welcome to the worst European vacation ever, starring one very tired Leon S. Kennedy survivor of zombie carnage past, now promoted to Secret Service heartthrob. Sent to save the president's daughter, because apparently kidnapping VIP teens is a theme now. Leon finds himself in a quaint little village with pitchfork-wielding locals who skipped their rabies shots. This is cult chaos, parasite panic, and chainsaw duels with dudes in burlap sacks. In VR, it's all hands-on horror, literally. You'll reload by actually reloading, aim with your trembling virtual hands, and yes, physically dodge a dude trying to separate your torso from your legs. The reimagined visuals are so crisp, you'll wish they weren't when a regenerator's breathing down your neck. Capcom modernized the controls, tightened the pacing, and somehow made this absolute classic feel like it was always meant to be played with your face shoved 2 inches from the nightmare. From sneaking through claustrophobic corridors to roundhouse-kicking villagers like you're in a very spooky action movie, this is survival horror that slaps hard. And in VR, that slap lands directly on your soul. War Thunder. Time to strap in, fire up the engine, and promptly get blown out of the sky by a player with 2,000 hours logged and a thirst for digital destruction. War Thunder is an all-out vehicular symphony of chaos that throws you into land, air, and sea combat, like it's trying to rewrite every world war at once. Whether you're rolling across muddy terrain in a German Panther, screaming through the sky in a MiG-21, or engaging in naval warfare aboard a destroyer, this game delivers the kind of adrenaline rush usually reserved for fighter pilots and caffeinated toddlers. The VR experience? Oh, it's nuts. You'll be swiveling your head like an owl on Red Bull just to spot enemy planes diving out of the sun. In simulator mode, it's realism cranked to 11 manual engine controls, no UI hand-holding, and the constant anxiety that you're about to get one-shotted from 5 kilometers away. And while you can play it like a casual arcade shooter, the game has layers. So many layers. Just like an onion made of war. With constant updates, an army's worth of playable vehicles, and battles that span from World War I rickety biplanes to modern death machines, War Thunder VR will drop you straight into history, then run you over with it. Walkabout mini golf. Mini golf, but make it magical. And also ridiculously competitive if you're the kind of person who once flipped a Monopoly board. This game turns your living room into the fantasy vacation you didn't know you needed, where you'll casually sink putts through pirate ships, space stations, lost cities, and haunted mansions, all without breaking a sweat or paying for overpriced snacks. With physics so realistic, you'll swear you're actually bending over to pick up a real golf ball. Watch your back. The 1xed layouts, insane difficulty, and new collectibles, just to remind you who's boss. Play solo, or drag in up to 7 friends with full crossplay and chaotic voice chat that somehow always devolves into who owes who coffee. The guest pass is brilliant too. Buy a DLC, and your freeloading buddies can tag along. It's cozy, it's chill, and it's dangerously addicting. Bring your A-game and a sense of humour.
This rat cult spreads through Gotham like a plague. I have to stop it.
Batman Arkham Shadow. Being Batman is cool. Being Batman in VR is something else entirely, especially when you're ducking under sniper fire, stealth-snatching goons off balconies, and interrogating Gotham's worst like a justice-powered ghost. Set between Origins and the rest of the Arkham timeline, this one drops you into a younger, more rage-fueled Bruce Wayne, still figuring out how not to break every jaw he comes across. The villain? A new creepy chaos conductor known as the Rat King, who's aiming to turn Gotham's 4th of July into a full-blown fireworks funeral. And, yep, he's got a cult, a plan, and one very twisted origin that ties into Harvey Dent's descent into madness. Gameplay-wise, it's everything Arkham fans love. Free-flow combat with your fists flying like you're the conductor of a violent orchestra, detective vision that turns you into Gotham's psychic bloodhound, and enough gadgets to make Q from Bond jealous. In VR, it hits differently. You glide off ledges, silently drop into predator takedowns, and physically grab batarangs to hurl at thugs' faces. The stealth is tense, the combat is fluid, and the exploration feels tight and claustrophobic, just like Arkham should. It's moody, immersive, and thrilling in a way that flat-screen Batman could only dream of.
Spreading. Loki's evil invades all realms. He must not be stopped.
Asgard's Wrath 2. Here, you are a god, and in VR, that means flexing divine muscles in ways that make Zeus look like he's playing with action figures. This time, after getting Loki'd into cosmic prison in the first game, you're back and you're mad. But surprise, you're not in frosty Norse realms anymore. You're in Egypt now. Baby land of pyramids, sand, and seriously annoyed crocodile-headed deities. In Asgard's Wrath 2, your immortal essence hops into mortal bodies like a mythological Uber driver, each with their own backstories, powers, and weapons. And it's not just a beat-em-up. You'll be slicing through mummy armies 1 second, solving puzzle-filled tombs the next, and then chucking divine fish at a minigame stall because, well, godhood comes with side quests. The followers you recruit aren't just background noise either. They fight alongside you, grow stronger, and spill more lore than a college mythology class. Combat is a glorious VR workout. Blocking, slashing, throwing, dodging. It's all tracked 1-1 and feels deliciously physical. The open world is huge, packed with secrets, and teeming with jaw-dropping boss fights that'll have you gripping your controllers like Thor gripped Mjolnir.
Are you sure you want to get caught in the middle of that mess, tourist?
The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 1 and 2. Get ready to trade your vacation flip-flops for rusty machetes, because this undead tour of New Orleans is one where the beignets are stale and the locals want to eat your face. Saints and Sinners 1 and 2 throws you head first into the rot-soaked remains of a city, crawling with walkers, shady factions, and enough moral ambiguity to make even Rick Grimes raise an eyebrow. As the tourist, you'll craft makeshift weapons from junk, sneak through abandoned buildings with nothing but a shiv and your anxiety, and plunge screwdrivers through skulls with VR physics that are disturbingly satisfying. It's survival horror, but every sweaty encounter feels earned, every item looted like a victory. And just when you thought you'd mastered the art of headbraining, Retribution ups the ante with a nightmare in flannel, the Axeman. He's a stalking, brooding, serial slasher tank that makes every creaky floorboard sound like your funeral march. Add nighttime exploration, upgraded faction drama, and the new morally grey Exiles, and it's like the Walking Dead universe went full Fallout. Whether you're helping the helpless or robbing them blind, the choice is yours. And don't forget, if the bells ring, you'd better run or pray. Either works.
Be careful.
No. Walkravia isn't what we were led to believe.
Red Matter 1 and 2. If Cold War paranoia, sci-fi mystery, and an existential identity crisis had a baby in zero gravity, it'd grow up to be Red Matter 1 and 2. These are rich, cerebral VR experiences that toss you into space boots, hand you a gravity-defying jetpack, and whisper, good luck figuring out who the heck you really are. In the original, you're Agent Epsilon, spoiler, you're not, investigating a creepy abandoned Volgravian base on Saturn's moon. Everything's eerily pristine, except for the alien mold, the political cover-ups, and your own subconscious trying to scream through a cosmonaut helmet. It's puzzle-heavy, atmospheric as a Stanley Kubrick fever dream, and has just enough sci-fi weirdness to make you side-eye your microwave. Then comes Red Matter 2, like a VR sequel that ate its spinach. You wake up in a lunar base, realize you've been brain-swapped, and go jetpacking across beautifully rendered dystopian bases, trying to unravel a multi-layered conspiracy while dodging Volgravian secrets that want you very dead. There's stealth, puzzles, platforming, and even combat. Yes, this time you actually get to shoot stuff. The visuals are top tier, the object interaction is buttery smooth, and the storytelling more tangled than your headphone wires. This is VR at its cinematic, mind-bending best, where every room feels like a clue, and every clue might just be a lie. No Man's Sky. This game is an entire procedurally generated universe stuffed into your headset, daring you to get lost in the best possible way. Strap into No Man's Sky in VR, and suddenly you're not just playing a space explorer, you are one. You'll open your ship's cockpit with your real hands, physically grab the throttle, and launch off a planet into the kind of jaw-dropping cosmic view that makes you want to cry or call NASA. Every planet you land on is its own little ecosystem. Fever dream, glowing mushrooms, flying serpents, and rock formations that look like Salvador Dali tried his hand at landscaping. The gameplay loop is a buffet of spacefaring possibilities. Scan life forms, mine space rocks, craft gadgets, build bases, fend off sentinels, and try not to get vaporized by pirates. Or just wander around naming planets, things like Butt Crater 5, and uploading them to the galactic database. There's combat too. Dogfights in space, firefights on planets, and oh yeah, giant robot walkers that get real mad when you steal their shiny loot. But it's the VR interactivity that steals the show. Flick switches, toss probes, manually pilot your ship, and reload weapons by actually reloading them. This is the space odyssey your inner sci-fi nerd always dreamed of.
Simply follow our guidelines at all times and avoid suspicious encounters. Venture into the radius.
Into the Radius. This is the kind of VR game that doesn't ask if you'll suffer. It politely informs you how. Welcome to Into the Radius, where you wake up in the nightmare love child of Stalker and Metro, clutching a rusty pistol, half starving, and whispering, "Why am I like this?" as you inch past a gravity anomaly that wants to explode your organs. Set in the cursed Pachorsk anomaly zone, everything here is designed to make you feel like a fragile meat bag clinging to sanity with duct tape and poor decisions. The vibe? Bleak. The pace? Slow and methodical. The gameplay? Glorious. If you're the type who likes manually loading bullets into your magazine while hiding from a floating flesh poltergeist, you'll use an old-school map, sneak through abandoned factories, dodge weird warping anomalies, and scavenge food, ammo, and occasionally your own dignity. Every gun has a personality. Some jam, some kick, some demand to be lovingly cleaned like they're your emotionally distant child. Nighttime missions crank up the terror to "what was that noise" levels, while enemy mimics copy your shape just to mess with you psychologically. Dirt Rally 2.0. This is a mud-flinging, gear-crunching, co-driver, screaming thrill ride straight into a wall because you forgot to brake on a hairpin. Dirt Rally 2.0 Game of the Year edition is what happens when driving stops being about flashy city streets and becomes a full-on survival sport through slippery forest trails, icy corners, and gravel-covered death spirals. You'll be tearing across real-world rally locations in some of the nastiest, most powerful off-road beasts ever built, each one ready to punish your every mistake with a lovingly detailed crash. In VR, this beast becomes even more feral. Every bump shakes your soul, every flick of the steering wheel can end in a tree-hugging disaster, and your sweaty palms will learn the sacred bond between man, machine, and losing traction in Argentina. It's not just racing, it's reading terrain, understanding your co-driver's cryptic language of doom, and taming wild horsepower on unpredictable roads. And with the full Colin McRae flat-out pack included, you'll also relive 40 iconic scenarios from the rally legend's career. There's no rewind, no forgiveness, just you, the dirt, and your own stubborn will to not suck. One mistake, total disaster. But nail a stage, pure adrenaline-fueled bliss.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
Pistol Whip. If John Wick, Beat Saber, and Tron had a baby raised on synthwave and protein powder, it would grow up to be Pistol Whip. This is a high-octane rhythm-action ballet of bullets, dodges, and sheer cinematic flair. You're basically dancing through waves of enemies to the beat of adrenaline-pumping tracks while diving sideways in slow motion, like you just know the camera's rolling. One moment you're popping heads in a glowing cyber dystopia, the next you're blasting through an outlaw-infested Wild West steampunk train with nothing but your aim and your attitude. The gameplay is as addictive as a double espresso on an empty stomach. Run down linear dreamscape corridors, shooting baddies on the beat while ducking incoming fire like you're Neo on his third Red Bull. Each level is a scene. Each scene a musical murder playground, and you're the lead performer in a one-person action op. With over 40 tracks, modded remixes, daily contracts, customizable styles, and full-body sweat-inducing action, Pistol Whip is cardio disguised as a shootout. And yes, you will feel like a superhero doing it. Forget reloading, forget standing still. This game wants you to move like you mean it. BONEWORKS. BONEWORKS is where the physics engine becomes your best friend, worst enemy, and sometimes the weapon you throw at a dude's face. This is a mind-bending action-adventure playground where everything, and I mean everything, obeys the unforgiving, glorious rules of real-world physics. Want to beat a synthetic zombie to death with a chair? Go ahead. Want to stack trash cans to climb over a wall because you can't find the door? That's encouraged. Got a crowbar, a pipe, or an energy blade? Great. Now use it like your life depends on how well you can swing your arms without hitting your cat IRL. Set inside the deeply cursed MythOS system created by Monogon Industries, you'll unravel a digital mystery while performing death-defying parkour and engaging in chaotic physics-based brawls. It's basically, what if Half-Life had an anxiety attack inside the Matrix, but in VR? Every encounter is a sandbox of possibilities, whether you're dual-wielding pistols, dragging a broom like a medieval lance, or chucking a power drill across the room, because why not? But be warned, this game expects you to already get VR. There's no hand-holding, just physics, fists, and full-body immersion that makes you feel like your legs matter. It's brilliant, bonkers, and unlike anything else. Resident Evil Village VR. It's all fun and tranquil Romanian village life until a werewolf bursts through your window and you accidentally scream into your headset. Resident Evil Village VR shoves you face first into a gothic fever dream where Ethan Winters, our poor everyman with the world's worst luck, is back to get traumatized for our entertainment. And this time, you are him, in full motion tracked VR. Congratulations, your hands are now panic-powered weapons, and every creak of the castle is a heart attack waiting to happen. From sneaking through vampire-infested mansions to dodging mutated hillbillies with chainsaws, Village VR puts the you in you're screwed. The Gold Edition sweetens the nightmare with the Winter's expansion, including third-person mode and Shadows of Rose. But let's be real, first-person VR is where the adrenaline lives. The environments are absurdly detailed, the scares are stomach-turning, and the action? Let's just say the feeling of manually aiming a pistol at something 7 feet tall with claws is equal parts empowering and nope, nope, nope. Contractors, Showdown, ExfilZone. It's not enough to survive. Now you've got to escape with your skin, your loot, and, hopefully, both kneecaps. Contractors' Showdown ExfilZone throws you into a cutthroat VR battlefield where every bullet counts and trust issues thrive. This is about grabbing the goods, completing shady missions for suspicious vendors, and hauling your gear out before someone turns your extraction into a live reenactment of Saving Private Ryan. With over 50 weapons and a gear list that would make a prepper blush, you'll kit up with tactical attachments, body armor, NVGs, and other grown-up G.I. Joe toys. But don't think you're invincible. This game gets gritty. Break a leg, you'll limp. Take a round to the gut. Hope you packed gauze. Between the limb-specific damage, hydration needs, and the fact that death means you lose it all, you'll learn real quick. Greed gets you killed. The missions are varied. Track enemies, plant bugs, go full Rambo, but every task ups your rep with vendors who'll deck you out with better gear next time. If there's a next time. ExfilZone is a test of skill, strategy, and how much loot you can grab before dying like a fool.
Talk to me, talk to me.
I'm getting EMF readings.
Okay, this is it. It's in the room. Did you see that? Hello?
Phasmophobia. If you thought ghost hunting was just about yelling, "Is anyone here with us?" into a dark room and running away screaming, well, Phasmophobia is here to prove you right and wrong. It's a pants-sweating, scream-sharing, voice recognition-having co-op horror sim that tosses you and up to 3 friends into cursed houses, haunted schools, and spooky prisons to play professional paranormal detectives. Your goal? Find out what kind of ghost is ruining the vibes without joining them on the other side. Armed with classic gear like EMF readers, spirit boxes, thermometers, and sanity-draining cursed objects, you'll collect evidence while avoiding ghosts who literally respond to your voice. Say their name too much. Hope you wrote a will. There are over 20 unique ghost types, each with bizarre behaviors and temper tantrums. Some get talkative, some get violent, and some just enjoy lurking in corners like creepers at a school dance. And with randomized ghost traits, cursed items, custom difficulties, and jump scares that could end friendships, every run will feel fresh, unpredictable, and deeply traumatic in the best way.
Do I need to save you?
Use a card. You got a card?
Okay, hang on, I got this.
Demeo. Demeo is basically what happens when a bunch of fantasy-loving tabletop nerds crawl into a VR headset and say, let's make Dungeons and Dragons, but like with fireballs you can actually throw. It's a co-op dungeon crawler where you and up to 3 friends become miniature heroes in a living, breathing tabletop world. Think of it as Board Game Night meets Lord of the Rings minus the Cheetos dust. Every adventure starts with character class picks that feel pulled straight out of an epic campaign. Snipers with style, warlocks with sass, bards who can break bones with beats, and yes, a grappling hook-flinging barbarian named Urak who turns every fight into an acrobatic disaster piece. You'll roll dice, cast spells, scream in panic as goblins gang up on your healer, and argue over who accidentally aggroed the boss again. It's beautiful chaos. The game's magic is in its vibe. It doesn't just play like a tabletop game, it feels like one. You gather in a virtual hangout hub, paint your minis, toss banter like fireballs, and launch straight into a fight against evil forces like Rakan and Alfara across beautifully designed campaigns with new dangers each time. From VR to Steam Deck, it's fully cross-platform, so your rogue friend with the PlayStation 5 can finally betray you in high fidelity. Synth Riders. This is what happens when your VR headset says, let's party and get a workout in. This one turns you into a freestyle dancing, rail riding, obstacle dodging machine with style. Think Beat Saber, but with groovier hips and a whole lot more elbow room to bust moves. Instead of slicing through blocks, you'll ride coloured orbs like waves of sound, gliding your hands across rails and ducking, weaving and spinning like you're auditioning for a cyberpunk dance troupe. With 77 free tracks and more DLC songs than your playlist can handle, yes, Gorillaz and Muse are in, there's something here for every beat lover. And thanks to the officially supported custom song editor, if the beat doesn't exist yet, you can just make it. The best part? Up to 10-player cross-platform multiplayer means your dance battles won't be lonely. Whether you're going hardcore with spin mode, chasing high scores, or just vibing on rails in spiral mode, Synth Riders makes every session feel like a glowing, heart-pumping rave from the future.
There, he's awake.
Reyes, machines attack this settlement.
Machines don't attack settlements.
Horizon Call of the Mountain. You wake up a prisoner, handed a second chance with a bow in your hand, and a mountain full of deadly machines standing between you and redemption. Set in the wild, tribal tech world of Horizon, this spin-off lets you ditch Aloy's shoes and climb into the boots and gloves of Reyes, a shadow Karja with more guilt and muscle tone than a therapy session on a cliffside. In this first-person, high-altitude adventure, you'll be doing a lot of climbing, like your forearms will file a complaint level climbing. You'll scale the Sunspear and Talonreach mountains like an angry VR Spider-Man with a bow, all while tracking down your brother, dismantling a machine hijacking conspiracy, and awkwardly making friends with the machine's necks. Tall necks, that is. When you're not shimmying up cliffs, expect to be in full draw with your bow, nailing robots with pinpoint shots or firing up tools you MacGyver together from scrap like a DIY survivalist. It's not all chase the villain drama either. There's a tranquil machine safari mode too, which is basically Horizon's version of Look But Don't Shoot. Think of it as a virtual nature documentary, but your tour guide is a hologram and the gazelles are 15-ton metal dinosaurs. Gran Turismo 7. A love letter to car culture and the legacy of racing games, this sim blends old-school structure with modern horsepower, reintroducing the beloved GT simulation mode, alongside a buffet of modes like driving school, special events, and even a used car dealership that makes returning fans feel right at home. While the graphics and immersive racing physics won praise across the board, some players found themselves caught in the grind gears due to microtransactions and always-online requirements. Still, if you're steering from a PlayStation 5 with a DualSense in hand, every bump, drift, and downshift sings thanks to ray tracing, adaptive triggers, and eye-popping 4K visuals. Toss in VR support for PlayStation VR 2, and this ride becomes a full-body high-speed odyssey through asphalt dreams and dynamic weather nightmares. Whether you're chasing your next trophy or just vibing with the GT Cafe playlist, the road ahead is paved with both beauty and burnout.
But it's not all bow ties and martinis. You'll encounter difficult and often deadly puzzles in interesting locales. Escape each situation or die trying.
I expect you to die. When a game hands you a telekinetic implant and tosses you into exploding planes, death lasers and evil lairs, it's not so much a question of if you'll die, it's how many hilarious ways you'll pull it off before cracking the case. This VR escape room thriller throws you headfirst into a spy parody straight out of a 1960s Bond fever dream. You're the world's most disposable secret agent, armed with nothing but your brain, your wits, and a suspiciously floaty pair of invisible hands. Whether you're defusing bio-rockets mid-flight or using wine bottles to jam turret sensors, every level feels like a high-stakes magic trick where failure is both tragic and absolutely comedic. The puzzles are cleverly layered, sometimes cruelly so, demanding both logic and out-of-the-box thinking, and maybe the occasional trial and flaming error. But when you finally outwit Dr. Zor's ridiculous contraptions and pull off the perfect spy move, pure VR gold, toss in sequels with gravity bombs and orbital destruction, and this franchise evolves from charming escape room fun to full-blown espionage opera, if opera had robot arms and weaponized moose heads.
Their stories rise to legend.
Moss Book 2. This game opens the cover, pulls you inside and makes you a co-star in Quill's most dangerous journey yet. As your mouse companion leaps across snowy cliffs, sneaks through cursed corridors, and faces off against foes corrupted by fire and shadow, you'll be right there literally. Your ghostly hands will move platforms, heal wounds, and clear paths, all while forming a bond that feels genuinely alive. Every new area you traverse brings more jaw-dropping views and tighter puzzle combat sequences, blending tactile VR interaction with storybook-level charm. It's not just about guiding a tiny sword-swinging mouse. It's about protecting her, cheering her on, and, let's be honest, getting misty-eyed when she looks at you like you're the only hope left in her crumbling world. There you have it, 25 VR juggernauts that prove they're not just hype-fueled flashes in the pan. These are the games players can't put down, the ones that keep the VR scene alive with heart-racing moments and mind-blowing immersion. Whether you're new to VR or a seasoned headset warrior, these titles will keep your batteries drained and your reflexes sharp. So charge up, strap in, and don't just follow the hype, follow what lasts. And hey, if we missed your favorite virtual gem, drop it in the comments. We're always down to explore more realities.